Now, this is a story of long, long ago, set in a chase at the
She was an exceptionally good live presenter. And when she got big, she got very big very quickly.
The Strictly Come Dancing champions, 2014, Caroline
Caroline Flack has been charged with assault. The 40-year-old had pleaded not guilty to charges of assaulting her boyfriend, Lewis Burton.
It was a fight. The only person I ever hurt is myself.
She was my little girl. It doesn't actually seem real. It doesn't.
I just wish I'd have seen her. I just wish I could have told her not to do it. That's all I wanted to say. And I never got opportunity to do that.
There were contradictions in her personality where she seemed supremely confident on one level, but then massively vulnerable and lacking in confidence on another.
It's hard to imagine a closer bond than twins. It's a different world now, and it's trying to come to terms with what happened and could it have happened any differently if we'd done things differently? So that's the hardest bit.
Yeah? How do you invite Snail to a party?
Dunno.
Do you want to come to a party?
If she walked into a room, it was like a light going on, which is a gift. I just remember her as being the funniest, most stupid ball of energy.
I wasn't doing anything!
Everyone fancied her. You wanted to hang out with her, you wanted to spend time with her because you thrived on it. It was lovely.
Ah, pinks.
I always used to tell her she sounded like Peppa Pig. It sounds like Caroline. She thought that was hilarious.
Sorry.
I remember meeting her a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe how recognised she was. I mean, it would be like every other person. You'd hear, it's Caroline Flack, it's Caroline, it's Caroline. I was like, wow, Flacky, you are...
Here she is. Roxy.
I will always remember a red carpet event. She'd be so nervous in the car that all eyes were on her.
Caroline, just on the end. Caroline! Caroline, looking on the end! Caroline!
When she got out of the car, it was always fine. There were fans screaming her name.
Caroline!
That's when you could see her come alive. She was like, oh, people do like me.
Caroline!
She would always tell me who she was dating, pretty much straight away. And we were heavily, heavily involved in Caroline's private life. Caroline started dating Lewis, and he was this very tall, good-looking model. He was an ex-tennis player, and she, was pretty smitten with him. She was top of her game when she met Lewis. The press were obsessed with her love life, so they always were.
This night in December, Caroline was just meeting another friend for a drink at Shoreditch House, and then I went there to meet her, and we had a few drinks. She had gotten home, and then Lewis had come back, and then she had seen something on his phone.
Lewis had been texting a woman. That was obviously gonna be a massive trigger for her. They had an argument, and he called the police.
When the police arrived, she was covered in blood. What prompted Lewis to call the police, he received a cut to his head. She was taken away. Within 24 hours, journalists had the story.
The TV presenter Caroline Flack was arrested and charged with assault by beating.
Everything started to go from bad to worse.
I just went and sat outside the police station and just, waited for it all to play out. So I was scared, probably more than she was. I remember her walking out of the police station, not really, I don't think, really understanding the impact it might have.
We got no camera! Wind is blown. He said a millionaire had a drink called Claudia.
Being twins. It's just a link and a bond which I think is quite rare. All the way along, everything was the same. We played together all the time.
Gone away. You were the greengrocers round the corner.
We used to sing at home and stuff, and I sort of went along with it a little bit.
Sweet little meek little Marion.
That was the sort of pecking order. She was just a bit bossy. I mean, she was Kylie, out of Kylie and Jason.
Especially for you, my Kylie and Jason.
Yeah, I was always the boy.
I'd like to go to America, to Disney World, and go on all the rides. Yeah, I'd like to go to Disney World.
Complete opposites, complete opposites. Jodie was positive and Carrie was the negative. It was either, when you get a high or a low, and that's what she was like from a child. She was either very high or she was very down. She couldn't stop her crying.
What's the date?
No, not now, Carrie. Wait.
Carrie, why are you crying, babe?
You're on the video,
Hey?
Don't cry, I'll let you. Oh, no. And then she'd pick herself up, and she would pick herself up. Jodie always had probably more regular boyfriend. Carrie always, it was always someone that wasn't quite right. And she went out with a boy from the fair, that was fine. But of course, he had to be older because he was working there.
The Walter boy. He was a bit older, so it was all a bit of a sort of dramatic and secret and exciting. That was, I guess, the first time she got super, super, super upset when that didn't work out. But she was heartbroken. I think she ran away from home. She ran away, we didn't know where she was, and she'd gone to his house and, was banging on his door. And she really, 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 really struggled emotionally. She was very, very depressed. And then that pattern carried on forever. She really, really did find heartbreak impossible.
She had a long relationship when she was in Cambridge, but it ended. And then we got a call that she'd taken some pills and she spent time in hospital. And then you could tell, that it wasn't right. Her reaction wasn't right. Yeah, she didn't handle heartbreak well.
I don't know if I should. I don't know. It feels so weird talking about it because I know it's something she never wanted anyone to know about. each serious boyfriend. She sort of took a lot of tablets, drank a lot, ended up in an A&E situation a lot of times. And she really didn't think she could cope with that feeling. And so that's, you know, I think it was her trying to control it.
We went through all the doctors and they saw her and they said, no, we think it was a one-off, that, you know, nothing. But there was always that fear after then that I don't know, you always worried about if in case anything happened.
She was quite fascinated by the subject of suicide, always. And I knew that about her. So it was a worry for a long time. And something I think I tried to get my head around for a long time. So it's something that's in my life that's been, you know, I prepared that it could happen.
Waffle. That's Carrie's cat that I've now inherited. Right, so this is my memory box of Carrie. Yes, that was a school photo. Lovely Mother's Day cards from her. And you don't realise at the time, you read them and you think, oh, that's nice. But when I read them now, it's like, she used to say to me, oh, I've booked this, Mum, you come in, you come with me, or we'll go here, we'll go there. And I'd say, oh, I've got to work. And I did have to work. And I thought, oh, do you know, Charlie, he shouldn't. All the times you sort of miss with someone. And you should just do it, shouldn't you? There's one thing I really treasure now is this picture. I was with her when she bought it. I just thought it was so beautiful, and to me it now looks like Carrie, you know, just how she floated away, really.
It was 3 days after I'd been arrested for having a fight with my boyfriend. Since then, I lost my job. A job I've worked all my life on.
Caroline was Love Island. It was her show. It was what made her tick. She was devastated that that had gone from her.
All the stuff that she'd worked 20 years for, they were all gone overnight. They were just all gone. Maybe she'd never get any of that back. Maybe she'd have to find something else to do with her life. There wasn't a plan B, you know. What was she going to go and do? Be a teacher?
It was a fight. I've never hurt anyone in my life. The only person I ever hurt is myself.
Welcome back to the Monte Carlo Bay Hotel and the grand final of the European Poker Tour.
She always had something, you know, something we could look on, a strange channel. And it just sort of grew from there, really.
Welcome back to the PokerStars.com European Poker Tour, coming to you from the dazzling Monte Carlo. Oh, it's beautiful.
I first met Caroline when she came into the agency. I think those early days, in some ways, I'd just let Caroline get on with it. She wasn't a client that I needed to go and look after. She didn't need you around. And obviously that changed a lot, sort of in later years.
I met Caroline in 2001. Dee worked with her very early doors.
Oh, she was brilliant. And she was just this kind of little, tiny little pocket rocket whirlwind of fun.
It was a really fun time to be working in television because you were able to make your mistakes in public. It kind of didn't matter. And so we were all learning a craft and a trade together.
Ready? Oh, Jesus, it's freezing. Hello and welcome to PokerStars.com European Poker Tour, coming to you once again from...
She didn't seem to think of any pressure on her, but she wasn't really well known. Not until she did really Extra Factor with Ollie.
We were the co-presenters on the Extra Factor. I walked in and saw her for the first time and thought, wow, she was stunning, gorgeous, and she was full of life. At the time, I was single, and I think she was, and I think straight away this chemistry came out of nowhere. It was like, oh. Yeah, it was exciting. Everyone was talking about us as the next, you know, Richard and Judy, the next Anne and Dec. That's why the show was such a success. And obviously the fact that everyone thought we were together. So the X Factor, all of a sudden we got the phone call from Simon saying he wants to revamp the show. We want you to replace Dermot O'Leary. When we got the job in 2015 to host the biggest, most talked about show on TV, it should have been the most amazing experience of our lives, but it ended up being probably our downfall, really.
If you've got a talent for hosting live TV shows, then the biggest shows on television are in the white-hot heat of Saturday night. You don't get to have that career and that level of fame without taking all the shit that comes with it.
After the first 2 or 3 shows, we got it from all angles. Well, this show is good, but it's missing something. It's missing Dermot. And all of a sudden, you're just, boom, beaten up again. And that was constant for 10 weeks. It was always knowing, what are the media going to say now? What are people said on Twitter now?
I would say it was the social media. It was literally once Twitter started, she would spend a lot of time looking at comments.
I think she was in a kind of weird cat and mouse game with social media, with press, with fame.
She hated it, but she couldn't live without it.
Yeah.
The abuse that she was getting, it was awful, awful.
We did try quite hard to try and wean her off social media, but actually, I don't think we ever really got a handle on that, unfortunately.
I used to say, well, just don't read it, just get rid of your phone. But she'd be on it constantly. You'd try and talk to us, but she'd be looking at her phone.
Them comments did affect her every day. Comments did hurt.
It was slightly destroying her, I would say. She was suffering, basically. And then when you did see her face to face, nothing would get mentioned. It would be yeah, I'm fine, whereas obviously she wasn't fine. Yeah.
It's very difficult to know the extent of someone's problems if they tell you, if they sweep them under the carpet.
She just hid it so well. I think that's the thing, she hid it so well. And I think that for me, the only warning signs were the addiction to social media, and you definitely saw that over the years progressing. And obviously that then grew and grew and didn't really stop and go away.
Sometimes people ask if she wanted to be famous, which is a really good question. Did she want to be famous? Well, she did want to be famous, but the problem was she just wasn't emotionally wired to deal with all the pressures that came with being famous. But in the beginning, we didn't know that. because it wasn't obvious then.
I remember the final of the X Factor, there was a big story, and basically we were getting sacked after the show. I was like, this is the final of the X Factor. Yeah, it was an awful experience to know that everyone hated us on the show.
It was tough. It hurt. Sadly, as Caroline got more famous, I think she became addicted to affirmation. And all that terrible kind of maelstrom ended up with us on the sofa talking to you about her now.
That X Factor experience for both of us was hard, you know. But again, Caroline, God, she got it so much more than me. I don't know what it was.
You thought, oh, that's gonna, you know, make her feel so bad. And that's when you, again, worried about her. She'd, you know, text me in the middle of the night. And one night I remember I got in my car to drive to London, and halfway there she said, oh, it's all right now. But she just, yeah, used to brush it off then. And what always got her out of it was having to go to work or having to do something. And then the next day, it might, you know, things might seem better. But you never really knew.
She started to feel that she was losing a grip on her life. The attacks were coming in at her from all sides. The press.
She was on her phone and she was just scrolling through Twitter.
She had people on social media that this is what she deserved. Fathers for Justice decided to start a Twitter campaign against her, of her in a lineup with the heading, "This is what a domestic abuser looks like." The madness doesn't stop.
The echo chamber got really loud and really angry. She just felt really ashamed that that's what people saw her as. I think it was just too much. It made her so on edge and so paranoid.
She'd had bad press before, and she'd get over it. And, but there was always a way out that she couldn't, this time she couldn't see. She just couldn't see a way out.
Caroline Flack was surrounded by photographers as she arrived at court accused of assaulting her boyfriend.
That was awful. Yeah, that was awful.
She just seemed tiny to me, and she was frightened, and
she just looked so lost and sad, and it was horrible.
Her boyfriend, former professional tennis player and model Lewis Burton, arrived separately. He's previously said he wants the case against Caroline Flack to be dropped and doesn't support the prosecution.
Prosecutor Katie Weiss told the court both were covered in blood, and in fact one of the police officers likened the scene to a horror movie. The presenter pleaded not guilty to assault. She put her head in her hands as the court refused an application to remove bail conditions, preventing her from contacting Burton.
There was a love element in there as well. At the time, she just wanted to see him. It was that feeling she knew too well, that she knew she couldn't cope with.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, step back for us, please. We are. Out of the way, out of the way. Miles away.
From that day, she was in a very bad way.
Move back! Move back!
I know her, so I knew it was going to be unbearable. It was going to trigger all the things that she finds difficult. So it didn't just trigger one of those things, it triggered everything in her life that she finds difficult.
I first met Caroline in 2003. We were both young in the industry. I was an aspiring TV producer, she was an aspiring TV presenter. I was emotionally stable. I would run like this, and she was up and down. I was already attached. I had a boyfriend who I then later married. She was on and off attached to various different people.
She did go a bit out with some funny, you know, not funny people, I don't mean that, but people you don't expect. Yeah, her world, but it's where her world took her, really.
Prince Harry was like the defining moment, really. The papers had got hold of it, and that had never happened to her before. And she was really upset about it. And suddenly, what the page is saying is slut. And then she has to live with that.
It got to a point with Carrie that she was on the front page of the paper so often, it was just like, oh, it's just another day, Caroline's on the front of the paper. You know, she's probably immune to it, but she never was. You don't become immune to that, do you? Newspaper cannon fodder, isn't it? And there's probably part of her that loved it and got a buzz from it, and there's part of her that it just chipped away at her soul. It was slow motion, it happening in front of our eyes.
I was there at X Factor when Harry was 16, 17, and you could see there was a lot of flirting going on.
A lot of the Harry Styles fans, there was a big hate brigade. It was sort of a personal hate for someone that they didn't know. If you're not the person, it's easy to see that that's ridiculous, but Carrie couldn't see that.
An older woman dating a teenage boy, in society's view, is not acceptable. But because she kept doing these things and like fueling that fire, then there would be a backlash to it. But the backlash was extraordinary. And so then, when she started to publicly mess up with her love life, that made her even more compelling. Like, you were buying in to her soap opera. Here was the profound irony to all of this. She's hosting a show called Love Island, and she couldn't herself find love.
She was struggling with her relationships, I think, at that time. She was trying to find a person to settle down with, I think. And then I found somebody, and that wasn't easy, I think. I don't feel like I had enough time for Carrie all the time. Yeah, I feel bad, yeah. Because it's irreversible now, so it's you know, it's final, so you don't get a chance to address it.
Caroline never really wanted to grow up. I think she was really jealous of everyone else's emotional stability and their ability to settle down and get married and have children, and I think she really wanted that, but it wasn't in her makeup. She just wasn't built that way.
It was really difficult for her to find that connection with somebody because her world became more and more surreal. But because of that negative element of her particular fame, I think it was hard to find somebody who understood that.
First thing, congratulations, Viz. Thank you very much. Can you show your sparkly ring into my camera, please?
It needs resizing at the minute. That was very sudden, and I think at the time it was lovely.
Talking weddings, have you got any plans yet? Do you know when?
I don't even know what to do. I never thought I'd get married, so for me, I don't know. Do I call someone up? I need to get married.
She was really happy to get engaged, and there was something about it that she felt would be okay and would work, but it didn't.
It was probably tough to have a relationship with her, but also brilliant. And actually, the truth is, if you want the best of Caroline, you have to take the worst of Caroline as well. I just don't think, ultimately, she met a man who quite had the balls to do that. There is nothing more worrying than getting a text from Caroline saying, I've got a new man and you're really going to like him.
So every time she got a boyfriend she really liked would say, "Oh, it's lovely. Maybe this time it'll all be all right."
That's awful, but it's true. I've got a new man and you're really going to like him. I had that text several times, and every time I would think, fingers crossed.
She'd meet someone, be very happy, but you were always worried that if it ended or when it ended, she couldn't handle heartbreak. She couldn't, ever.
When I look back now, I get it. She was feeling things so much more deeply than I would have done in the same situation. And I don't think I really got that when we were younger. I just thought she was a pain in the arse. And now I get it. Now I understand that you'd be a friend and then there would come a certain point where you'd think, oh, come on, it's not that bad. But I think probably it was that bad.
I just think she sometimes got into a place where she needed help. And usually it was possible to help her. But sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes she just couldn't get in.
Christmas, we didn't think she was coming. We didn't know where she was going. And then Christmas morning, she said, "Are you at home?" I said, "Of course I'm at home," and because we couldn't get hold of her on Christmas Eve, and she drove up home and she had the last Christmas with us, and it was lovely.
So she tried to forget what was going on for the day, and came and had a really, really good time.
We said that was the best thing. And she laughed and we had fun with her, and we thought, oh, maybe she's turned a corner, you know, it'd be all right. And we said, "Now just stay here until..." But then she got up Boxing Day and she drove home. And you didn't know what was going on in her head. You just didn't know.
Christmas came and went. She was being really sensible and looking after herself. And when the image turned up on the 1st of January 2020 on the front of The Sun, she almost gave up hope. The early hours of the morning of her arrest, there was an argument between Caroline and Lewis. He received a small cut to his head, which was treated on the scene when the police arrived, and then he went home with his mum. Caroline, meanwhile, had her own blood all over the house, over the bedroom. Her blood was on those sheets in the bedroom. That was her blood. She'd cut herself.
She had to have plastic surgery on her arm, and where she'd cut it so bad. She did do that when she got really low. She'd cut herself before.
That was her worst nightmare. That she did not want that to be made public, because she'd hurt herself and she didn't want to have to speak about that, or I don't know, she felt ashamed about that.
I have never had the kind of exposure or press intrusion that Caroline had. That's ultimately what killed her, I believe, and I'm sure many others do.
I think she realised that, you know, everything was going to be in the press, and that they'd find out that she was, you know, had these dark moments, and she didn't want people to know that.
We've got some breaking news for you now. In the past few minutes, it's been confirmed that the TV presenter, Caroline Flack, has died at the age of 40.
She was my little girl, but that was part of Jo. It's just part of her.
How do you start to come to terms with her loss?
I don't know. Just carry on. It's hard to see her and to hear her. So I sort of avoid it.
What would you say to her now?
I don't know.
Oh, do you remember that one? That's when I had to cut all her hair off because she had eczema. So you kept long hair. And that was the one time that you really looked different. Oh, that's a lovely one of Carrie. Oh, that's beautiful.
I think it's harder looking at recently because that's what we've lost. We've lost Carrie.
Yeah.
Who do you blame in all of this?
I don't know, that's really difficult. That's really difficult. You know, you say, well, if she hadn't met Lewis, it wouldn't have happened. If the police hadn't done that, it wouldn't have happened. If she'd have got off with a caution, you just don't know. If she hadn't done that, you know, and you know, if she hadn't looked at his phone and seen a text from a girl, I just don't know. But Carrie's state of mind was such that any of those things could have done it, because it was how she was. Someone else could have probably dealt with it, but she couldn't. And she just hated the thought that people thought she was like this awful person.
And is that because she just really cared what everyone thought?
Yeah. She wouldn't, even when she'd taken pills as a young person, we weren't allowed to. She didn't want anyone to know. She didn't want anyone to know she got down. And I know they say, oh, everyone's talking about it now, but I think a lot of people that really suffer with depression still don't talk about it. They don't. You're either ashamed of it or you're frightened that they'll think something about you. So I think people are still frightened to say it. What was she, about 14 there?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I just... It's really sad. But then I'm really pleased we've got all these photos, but this is the first time I've looked through. Sorry.
No, don't be.
She wouldn't talk to me. I'd never known her do that before, actually. And then she got in touch. And then actually we had a chat. She said it was fine. And then I took my eye off the ball and I spent maybe 2 or 3 days not worrying. That is what you learn, isn't it, about suicide? That often someone's just waiting for you to take your eye off the ball. And that they pretend everything's fine when it's not.
I just know that my heart breaks every time I think of Kaz and think of what she would have had to have gone through to take her own life, you know. And that's going to hurt for a long time. Because we got on, we were great together.
All that talent, all that love, all the joy that she brought, just gone. She has gone. It's just horrible. And you feel like saying, come on, you've made your point now, come back. We've all listened, we've heard, and I'm sorry that we didn't listen more sooner. It was playing out in slow motion for us, and we still didn't do enough.
Looks like a catkin. Is it a catkin? It's a catkin.
It's difficult to think of all the things that you remember about her, really. I think it was that she was funny. She just used to make us laugh.
Hello, I'm Caroline Flack.
I was proud of her there. She was good at her job. And I liked the fact that she had so many people that did really like her, didn't they? And I think lots of people were sad. But it's awful that you don't know that, you know, when you're feeling that bad.
Toodaloo, everyone. Toodaloo. Goodbye, goodbye. We're very sad to see you go. Goodbye, goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Toodaloo, toodaloo,
I just won't ever forget that she made my life much more fun than it ever would have been. I've never met anyone like her. I'll never meet anyone else like her.
If I walked into the same room as her, like across a bar, she'd throw a hand in the air, Pinky! You'd light up because you knew she was so happy to see you, so she made you feel $1 million in that moment. I've just always got this image of her, one arm in the air, just like...
Yeah, it was nice to talk. It was good to talk today. I enjoyed talking about her.
I never had as much fun with anybody, ever. So while she was living, it was good fun.
Put your glad rags on.
That's my memory, you know, because that's what they were like, even at, like, 40-year-olds.
Even though Carrie struggled emotionally, she was not a weak person. Her emotional struggles were just a little part of who she was, and she was actually someone who lived a great life that was really full of joy. That's what's so greatly missed about her.
We all needed a place just to come and sit and remember, really. This just fitted it. It was just beautiful. You come here and, I don't know, I think it allows you to talk to Carrie because you feel silly anywhere else. She is. She's become a wooden bench. It's as if she's there, really. As if she's still here. But she's not. Our beautiful girl whose tiny feet made such a big imprint on the world. Carrie, we miss and love you so very much. Just to have another moment, another kiss, another smile. One more chance to hear you laughing, or just to hold you for a while. And I think that said it all, really.